Hey y'all, welcome to the pop-up. I bet y'all are like so surprised that I popped up this late. But I told y'all to keep those notifications on. But I do have a good reason for popping up this late. It's because I'm not going to download a full podcast later on tonight. I just downloaded one so late. I said, well, you know what I'm going to do? I am just going to jump on real quick, do a pop up, and then in return, tomorrow I'll do a full podcast because I just downloaded that full podcast earlier this morning. And I said, and I have had such a busy day, even though I was able to get in the comments quite a bit today, and I did that on my phone while I was on the go. It is a whole different story sitting down and recording a podcast. So I decided to, just to pop in, not show my face, but do a quick pop up. And tomorrow we're going to do a full on podcast. So y'all keep y'all heads up for that. I'm telling you. And also, I tell you what I want to say too. I want to just thank everybody for their support in watching the commercials. I see so much difference in the how they are really promoting my channel because of y'all. Y'all, if this channel turns out to be a success, it's not from my efforts, it's from y'all. Y'all have been supportive of the Royal Read from the beginning. Y'all have been loyal. You come back every day, and now you're sitting through boring commercials. And I'm telling you, you cannot be more dedicated than that. And I am so appreciative of all your support for this channel. And I tell you what, TikTok going away just I have gotten into my feels. Now I didn't have a big following on TikTok, although I said I was going to really start working on TikTok this year if it didn't go away, but look like it is going away later on tonight. But I saw a lot of creators just crying because they were losing their community, losing their tribe. And I can only imagine how that feels because, to build a tribe, to build a community online is hard work for one thing, and it's so rewarding for another one. And you get so attached to your followers. It is so hard. I cannot even imagine losing y'all. And so I am just really, really in my feels today about all of the content creators that are losing their community today. But hopefully, some of them will come over here to this particular app, and maybe things might be worked out and TikTok won't go away. You have to keep hope alive. Isn't that what Jesse Jackson said? You have to keep hope alive to the end. But yeah, so it's been that kind of day to day. So that's why I'm not showing my face. And also, that is why I am doing a pop up. It's because I've just had a super, super busy day. But it doesn't matter what kind of day I have. The read in some form has to go on because we are a community, we are a tribe. We absolutely have to keep in contact with each other. We have to interact with each other. And I'm telling you, it is such a beautiful thing. Y'all, when I go in the comments, I get so much joy seeing y'all interact with one another, us talking to one another, learning from each other. It is just so, so wonderful. And that's why I am in my fields today because I know what those content creators have lost on that app, on TikTok. It is a lot to lose your tribe. And so I'm just hoping that they pull it together and somehow TikTok does not go away. I really, really do, because I know how I would feel. I know how I would feel. All right, y'all, but let's get to what we want to talk about on this pop up. And basically, what I want to talk about is piggybacking off of the podcast that I uploaded earlier today. And basically, it's about this article in Vanity Fair, this hit piece, the continuation of the smear campaign against Meghan and Harry. And that's basically what they are doing at this time. And, I thought about it, and I have been thinking about it today. And a lot of it is a diversion. We all know what happened with Kate this week and what a flop week that they had, that family over there. We even talked about it in the podcast. And I think sometimes, a lot of times, these organized smear campaign tactics, the hit piece, are planted as a diversion as well as an attack, because we all know Harry and Meghan is the go-to scapegoat over there. And when those folks over there are failing, they go to, they go to the flying monkeys. They go to those rags over there, and they absolutely plan a story, and then that story, we all know how this whole smear campaign, how to, Operation Beat a Dead Horse, how it works, or Operation Pebble in a Pond, because basically the way this whole thing works is a designated entity like Vanity Fair, like the Hollywood Reporter, or one of those rags across the pond writes a story, a planet story, a story that has been fed to them straight out of Kensington Palace or straight out of Buckingham Palace. They absolutely plant that story, and then it's a ripple effect, and they want to try to see if it will catch fire, and absolutely just kind of vibrates out into these ripples of other news organizations and other entities pick it up, rewrite it, repackage it, regurgitate it, and make it into something bigger than what it is. But unfortunately for them, the Sassy Squad has learned their tactics, and we do not engage with them anymore. We don't assist in their campaign to try to generate eyeballs, to try to generate conversation around a hit piece that they have planted. And we all know that this hit piece in Vanity Fair was planted. We all know Tina Brown used to be the editor at Vanity Fair, and I'm sure she still has a lot of connections there. We also know that Katie Nichols still works for Vanity Fair. So we all know what's going on here. It's not a surprise. The only surprise is that a legacy magazine like Vanity Fair would allow itself to be used in this manner. That is a surprise to me, because Vanity Fair has a really good reputation, and now it's trash, because now it has shown itself to be that trash, something to be used to attack Meghan. And if it can be used to attack Meghan, then it can be used to attack anybody. And what does that say? That say that it is no better than those trash magazines over across the pond. And to me, this should be a good lesson to any legacy organization, news or entertainment organization, when they choose to get in the bed with the likes of the Daily Fail and the likes of the Daily Express and those other rags and all of those flying monkeys over from Fleet Street. They might as well just hand in their journalism credentials, because they are no more than a tabloid rag. I mean, because you're behaving like one, you have no more respect. You are absolutely in the gutter with them. Like my grandmother used to say, you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. And I'm telling you, they are mangy with fleas right now, Vanity Fair is. They have been laying around with these dogs, and people see them as mangy as these tabloid gutter snipes that are over across the pond. No better. Because they have participated in something that is so gutter level, and that is attacking two people that mind their own business. And if you look at this article, it is absolutely saying that it's some kind of anniversary of Harry and Meghan leaving that family. What kind of nonsense is that? And to me, it should be shameful that you are still talking about a couple who has left over a half a decade ago, and yet and still you are chronicling all of this nonsense, spewing and puking up all of the bile that these tabloids had fed to you, and you are putting it on the pages of your legitimate news organization or your magazine. I mean, it is mind blowing that Vanity Fair allowed these people to con them into doing this. And now their reputation is forever tarnished. They will always be considered a rag. They have allowed themselves to be pimped out. Yes, they have been pimped out, put on the streets with a short skirt, and made to walk up and down these internet streets trying to get someone to pick them up. That is what Vanity Fair has become. They have literally whored themselves out. And that is why that I am not going to talk about that article anymore. I am not going to generate any kind of interest in it. We have pushed back, and I believe successfully pushed back, because it is not that much buzz. Now, they have really tried. They have been pushing out the adjacent articles. You know how it does. The ripples have been rippling, if you know what I mean. I think I saw something. Camilla Tomney, she had wrote something about it, and I think in the Telegraph, and just right around in the UK, but it has not caught on here in America, because at the end of the day, people know this is a smear campaign and where it is coming from and who is paying for it. And I'm going to put this up. And I want to refocus on the real problem. Just like they scapegoat Harry and Meghan to try to get our attention off of what they're doing, we're going to refocus on dragging them. And who do I choose to drag today? And that would be King Charles III, because he is the head of this viper nest. He is the one who absolutely initiated this smear campaign, these attacks on his daughter in law. When you are looking to get to the root of the problem, once you get down as far as you can go, that is when you find Charles. He is the root. Him and his son are the root of the problem, and the people who started this one-sided campaign, this one-sided war on Harry and Meghan. So yes, I'm gonna drag him a little bit on this pop-up, because I want to refocus this whole thing and let everybody know it has never been about Harry and Meghan. They have never been the problem. The problem has always been the left behinds who could not leave them alone. Because if they could only do that simple act, none of this would be necessary. Harry has said it time and time and time again in front of a camera to the microphone, saying he has said it didn't have to be this way. It never had to be this way. And I don't detect a lie in that particular statement. because it didn't have to be this way. But Charles, let's not forget, Charles chose it to be this way. William chose it to be this way. They chose this, and they have continued this for the last, we're going into 9 years that they have declared this one-sided war on this couple that have done nothing to them except decided to leave for their own mental health. But they have been relentless in their attacks and their abuse. Megan cannot have a freaking cooking show with all of them turning out and trying. And then, they had this organized hit campaign already revved up to be attacking her during the time she was premiering her cooking show. And they were all out in force with their lies. Kate out there lying about cancer. Charles out there flying around in a helicopter to go to a food bank. And William absolutely is so mediocre that once he found out Meghan had postponed her cooking show premiere, he canceled his event because he never wants to do it anyway. He does not want to do what it takes to be a good king. All he wants to do is get the hat. And he has shown himself to do that time and time and time again. He is too busy running after the shadow of his brother. He is trying to just absolutely keep up with Harry. He don't want to be king. He just want to say that he is the king of the United Kingdom because somehow that would one up Harry. And my whole thoughts on that is, how so? Because it's not like you have any kind of special skills. It's not like you have done anything to deserve it or to absolutely achieve it. All you did was slip out of the birth canal of Diana. That's it. That's all you did. And you only did it first because if you had did it second, Harry would be the one that's going to be king. So, no biggies, nothing for you to absolutely brag on, bud, because we are living in a day and age about what have you achieved, not something, this birthright nonsense. You get no respect. I'm just saying. But Charles is the person I want to drag. Charles is the person I'm going to drag for a little while. I'm not going to drag long because this is a pop up, but I am going to do some dragging because I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this: the best way to visit a food bank is to take a chopper. Yes, he did. He did that. And I said this in my last podcast in a kilt. He showed up to view a food bank, to look at food products. And I also found out, and I discussed in my last podcast, that they absolutely closed the food bank for 2 days prior to him coming, and people could not get food out of it. How useless is this human being? And then this particular squatty goes on to say, that way you can make a fast getaway. F the environment. Well, we all know Charles. He goes out into the world face fronting and pretend like he is some environmentalist. He is all about saving the earth. He's all about repurposing things. He's all about walking around gathering mushrooms when his mother is dying. He's all about that. But yet and still, he'll crawl his butt up in a helicopter to come over to a 1 hour engagement at a food bank. And his outfit probably could feed a family of 5 for about a week or two. And that helicopter ride could probably feed a family of 5 for the whole year. But yet and still, here he is walking around looking at vegetables that he did not even provide or donate to the food bank. This is ridiculous. This is who these people are. And y'all remember how he had such a big deal about how he wanted to go to COP 24. That's that big environmental event that they have every year, that the UN have every year. And it was a kind of like a back and forth a little bit with Richie Sunak, if he was gonna go or if he wasn't gonna go. And I think he ended up going. Y'all tell me in the comments, but I think he ended up going. And then he crawled up on a plane and went. I mean, it is just ridiculous how they play lip service to the environment, but yet and still, you don't see all the articles coming out, all the articles generated. Y'all remember how Harry and Meghan could not get on a plane without them talking about they're environmental hypocrites. They're hypocrites. They're trying to tell us how to live. And that's the reason we write all these nasty articles about them, because they preach about the environment. And I want them to find one incident that Harry and Meghan have preached about the environment. That is not what Travelers is all about. It is saying when you can take economical flights, or if you can avoid, or you can just find out information how much your flight is going to affect the environment. That's what Travelers is all about. It never was about preaching and saying you shouldn't do this or you should do this. But you know who has done that? The one who crawled his butt up in that helicopter after he absolutely spent 1 hour to look around at vegetables and food that he did not provide for a food bank. That one, that one with the sausage fingers. That one with the ring on his finger that looks like it's absolutely about to cut off the circulation of his finger. That one right there. Him. I have never ever saw anything like it. The hypocrisy of it all is absolutely nauseating, that these people who pretend like they are journalists will attack Harry and Meghan about environmental things when Harry and Meghan has never said anything about the environment, never preached anything about the environment. Just absolutely give information how you can improve if you choose to. But Charles has absolutely preached about the environment. And William, that's what all of Earth Flop is about. But yet and still, they have no smoke for them whatsoever. William flew all the way to South Africa to do Earth Flop, and we still to this day don't know who the winners are, because he made it completely about himself. And Charles absolutely does nothing. Look how him and his horse went all the way over to Australia and did all those things, and have absolutely preached to everybody about how you're supposed to be more environmentally sensitive. But yet and still, he didn't take a commercial plane. He absolutely took a private jet. I think uh, a government plane he took over there. But yet and still, they had nothing to say. They all of those flying monkeys loaded their butts up on that plane and went right flying right over there with him and kept their mouths closed. They absolutely did. And that is my point exactly. We need to drag them. And I am going to always drag Charles, because it is such a double standard when it comes to Harry and Meghan. It just reeks. It just reeks that these mediocres walk around and do all the things that they accuse Harry and Meghan of doing, and then have the nerve to attack Harry and Meghan over and over and over again. Sick their flying monkeys on Harry and Meghan, who is doing nothing but minding their business. That's all Meghan wanted to do, was to launch her cooking show. And look at the orchestrated. attacks and all of the events that they had planned around her premiere of her cooking show. This is an institution that has lasted over 1,000 years, but yet and still, they are scared to death of a cooking show. I kid you not. I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatter said this: who knew a cooking and lifestyle show could scare so much shit out of a 1,000-year institution? Because the show is headed by a mixed race black American woman who overshadows the other ones each time she steps out, even 5,000 land and sea miles away. Where is the lie? I mean, you can see exactly what the plot and the plan was. They were going to drop that hit piece on her, trying to make people not want to watch her show. And then they were going to show up. They were just going to bombard, had all of these events around the date that she was going to premiere her show. And look what happened. She postponed it and just revealed what their plans were. I just love this for them because they just come off as the mediocres that they are. They absolutely are. They cannot stand for Meghan or Harry to have any kind of success. But I hate to break it to them, they're not gonna stop it. No, they will never stop it. It is like trying to stop a snowball rolling down a hill. You either get out of the way or it's gonna roll over you. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatty said this: at the core of the rot in the viper's nest is a lily livered king who's willing to do anything for money and power. What is the lie? Because we have saw it in real time how what Charles has done. And I have had a back and forth within the comments talking to some of the readers in the comments about what we think maybe had went on with the queen. Because these people, especially that horse of his, will do anything for money and power. She has shown herself to be that kind of person. And he has shown himself to be the most weak, trashy person it is. I have never saw anybody as weak as he is because he is the head of this family. And when you look at this family, it is in shambles, to say the least. And I am being nice with that description. And this particular squad, it goes on to say, including eating his own young, spurred on by his ruthless concubine. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? We all know she is the most ruthless individual that it is. This is the woman who probably gets pleasure at having a magnifying glass in the sun burning ants. She's that kind of person. She shows no kind of sympathy or empathy for anybody. She is ruthless to the end, and he loves her for that. And I'm just saying. And it goes on to say, this is a man who's done everything to endanger the lives of his son and his son's family. Where is the lie? And that's why he'll always be a trash king, a trash individual, a trash father, and a trash grandfather. He has single handedly made the royal family a national and international joke. I'm just saying. And so this is the man at the top. This is the couple at the top of the food chain. And then they somehow think that, the world is supposed to show deference and have some kind of esteem for these two. And then the two that's bringing up the rear, the one that absolutely has no qualms about allegedly, possibly, I'm going to do all those words, lying about cancer. And then her husband, who has something going on to the point he can't even stand up straight without simulating like he is on a surfboard and has just caught a big wave. He is going rocking back and forth, trying to hold on, trying to keep from wiping out, if you know what I mean. And yet, and still, all this is going on right in the front, right under the nose, right in just plain view of those flying monkeys, those so called carnival of experts, all of the royal experts, all of them can't see that it's something going on with that whole family, all of those left behinds, but they're too focused on a couple that lives 5,000 miles away, 5,000 miles away, that minds their own business. But they want to focus on them. And it is relentless every day, every week. It is something all the time. I have never saw anything like it. And then they'll try to blame Harry and Meghan for their own obsession of them. They are totally obsessed with them, but yet and still want to blame them for their obsession. It is the craziest thing I have ever saw. I hadn't saw anything like it since Diana, but we all know that Diana was experiencing the same thing, but she didn't have the Sussex Squad, but she was experiencing the same thing, the taking away of her security and the smear campaign, the ongoing smear campaign that was happening to her before she got Diana. And y'all know what I mean. And that's what I call it. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty talks about Diana and what's going on today. It says, never forget, they removed Diana's security, set their media attack dogs on her, isolated her, then KILLED'd her, Diana'd her. And like the vultures that they are, they fed on her corpse. Where is the lie? Oh my God, where is the lie? And used her death to make money and gain sympathy for themselves. Oh, Lord, Jesus, Jesus, don't make me shout up in here. And when I tell you every one of them used her death, every one of them used her death as if they never played a part in it. It was something to see. And then it said, Meghan will never walk alone. And that's for sure. Because that's why we are out here fighting every day. Because we don't want a repeat. Just like Harry has said, he has warned. Harry is a very wise man. And if you listen to him, what he is saying always come to pass. And he knows, he absolutely knows what these people are capable of. Because he has had to live with the results of their capability and how it affected his life. All the things that they did to his mother. So, yes, he understands exactly who he's dealing with. And that's why he said they were if he hadn't have took his wife out of there. This is what Harry said. If he hadn't have took his wife out of there, they were never going to stop until she was dead. And they still haven't stopped. It's just the fact that they don't have access to Meghan anymore. And that is the only difference. And we absolutely be on their heads. The Sussex Squads be all up in there. They be all up in, we be all up in their grill. Every time they post something, we are calling them out. Oh, Camilla Tominey tried to post something today and we ate her up. I even called her a BH. I even called her a bitch. I did. I absolutely did. When she was talking about how Megan has talking about it's come up again that Megan is a bully. I said, well, we saw a video of you bullying your staff in real time. We already done saw how big of a bitch you are. Now, where's the video of Megan? Where's the evidence of Megan ever bullying anybody? Because we definitely got evidence of you. And so far, maybe when I go back in, I might be into it a jail, but I let her know. We all know you. We see you. We know everything about you, and we're never going to let you get away with targeting Megan without some pushback. So, yes, I officially called her a bitch today. And my only regret about it is that I didn't get to say it to her in her face. That would be delicious. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. This is going to be short. Like I said, it is just a pop up to kind of piggyback on my podcast that I uploaded a little earlier today. And I will be back with a full podcast tomorrow. So, heads up. And again, I just want to thank everybody for watching the commercials. It helps so much. And thank you for your support. All right, y'all. See y'all later. Bye.